guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to this week's reading vlog. I'm so excited for this week's reading vlog. I feel like I say that about every single vlog that I start, but genuinely I'm so excited. We're just gonna get right into it. This week we're going to be reading all new releases, starting off strong with Onyx Storm. Of course, there was no way that I could do a new release vlog and not include Onyx Storm because hello, I have been dying to read this. I'm probably gonna read like one or two other new releases this week, hopefully two other new releases this week, but it just depends on how my reading goes and stuff. But Onyx Storm is a non-negotiable new release that we have to finish in this video because I am just dying to read this and figure out what happens. And I'm also very afraid. I'm trying not to read too deep into like things that I've seen online, but I am genuinely like, I just hope that this doesn't ruin me because there's still two more books that are supposed to come out in this series, and like I'm kind of afraid of how it's going to end and if I will be able to cope with it until book 4 comes out, because book 4 has not been announced. Book 4, I have no idea when it will be coming, none of that. So I'm equally like excited and nervous about it. Mostly excited, honestly, but a little bit nervous. We're just not thinking about that though until we get there. Right now we're just living off the excitement of finally having Onyx Storm available to read. So as you can see, I have the Kindle version. I did buy the deluxe whatever. I like pre-ordered it last March on Amazon, so that's not gonna get here until tomorrow. So we have a fun little exciting new release unboxing to do tomorrow. I'm so excited to see the special edition in person. It's just so different to see special edition books in person versus just like photos of them online. So I'm really excited to get it tomorrow and see it in person. The stupid Target deluxe edition, I didn't even want it. It was announced like so last minute and I obviously had already pre-ordered the other version, so I was like, oh, it's fine, like I don't even want it. But like my FOMO started kicking in so bad, and then I was like, well, like maybe I'll just like try, you know, like it's no big deal. So then I'm on the Target app like 30 minutes before it drops. When it drops, I have it in my cart. A minute after it drops, not even, probably like a full minute after it drops, Target crashes. I then spent 45 minutes, I'm not even kidding, 45 minutes trying to check out. I had it in my cart. My Target app has never forgotten my card information. Tell me why. While I was trying to check out, it deleted my billing address and had me re-enter it. It deleted my shipping address and had me re-enter it. It deleted my like CVC whatever, made me re-enter that twice. It deleted my entire card number, made me re-enter that. These are all separate times, mind you. It's getting frozen, it's refreshing. Finally, after 25 minutes of that, probably 25 minutes or 30 minutes of that, I then move on to a 15-minute purgatory where every time I try and check out, it says there's an unusual amount of people trying to check out right now, so we're limiting the amount of people that can check out at once. So I'm like, okay, like that's fine, but like can we have a queue or something so we can tell like if I'm even moving up, like what's going on. So then I proceed to try and refresh and check out for another 15 to 20 minutes. And then they just remove the book from my cart and say, hey, sorry, it's no longer in stock. I'm like, there's no way. I just went through 45 minutes. It was probably 45 or 50 minutes of just stress and anxiety, all for nothing, all for them to just fake me out. And it was so irritating because it was like, I didn't even want this book. Like, I didn't even want this book. You guys made me want this book, and then you made me believe I was going to be able to get the book just to let me down, you know? But it's fine. I hate that I even like ended up trying to get it, because now why do I feel disappointed that I'm only getting the regular special edition? Like, no, girl, it's still a special edition. You're fine. It's like mind games, you know? I need to like reel it in and realize that it's fine. And obviously the copy that I'm getting tomorrow is still going to be beautiful. It's still going to be gorgeous. I was very excited to get that edition before they announced a second special edition. So it's fine. We're going to be grateful, we're going to be happy, and we're going to move past it. Okay. So anyway, I just had to tell you guys though, because I was like, there's no way this is happening. I didn't even want this book and I'm being played for a fool. So that was me fighting for my life yesterday at 1 in the frickin' morning. So then after that all happened, I was like, you know what, that was disappointing, but to like treat myself, I'm just gonna get it on the Kindle so I don't have to wait until my book comes in the mail. Like, I'll just get it on the Kindle. Tell me why I pre-ordered it even though it was supposed to be out already. It was like 1 in the morning on the 21st whenever I pre-ordered it, because it wouldn't let me just buy it. And then it took another like hour for it to appear on my Kindle. And then I looked up, because I'm Mountain Standard Time, so it technically should have been available at like 11 my time, because they like were supposed to release it like East Coast time, or I don't know. I feel like the whole thing, it was like a little bit messy in every area. But I digress. I'm not gonna let any of that ruin my experience with this book because I'm so excited for this book. I have loved the Fourth Wing series so far. If you watched my doing some of my favorite book stuff, you would have seen me do my Iron Flame reread, and honestly, doing a reread, I'm so glad that I did it so close to the release of Onyx Storm, and I'm so glad that I did a reread period because there was so much that happened that I just like genuinely forgot happened in that book. So I don't know, it's like so good because I feel like fresh in my memory, like everything that happened in that world in that book, and I just feel so ready to get into Onyx Storm. I'm so excited to get some answers, hopefully, in this book. If I'm left with no answers and my heart broken again, I will not be able to cope. Like I can't even think about that as a possibility right now. Long story short, let's start Onyx Storm. I'm so excited. It's already 9:52 p.m. If you are also keeping up on my weekly vlogs, I don't know if the weekly vlog will be coming out before or after this reading vlog, but today we set up my extra little bookshelves over here. So that is what I was doing all day. We were adding on to the bookshelf wall. I really like the way that ball light looks in person, but on camera it's like kind of aggressive. So I'm considering getting a different one that will have different lighting and be like a little less aggressive. It's almost 10 o'clock though. I was busy doing my bookshelves today, so that's like kind of how the time got away from me. But I have no plans for the rest of the night. I don't really have any plans for, honestly, the remainder of this week. This week I have allotted to just read, and I'm so excited because I feel like since the holidays, I really have just been reading here and there. I've been doing a lot of audiobooks. I just have not had the time to sit down and especially make a reading vlog. Like I haven't really done very many reading vlogs, especially through Bookmas. I was just like so busy editing and stuff. So I'm just so excited to be getting back to reading vlogs. Like I just love reading vlogs, and I love when all I have to do is sit and read and then yap about the books with you guys. It's genuinely like my favorite thing. So we are going to sit down. Like I said, it's 9:57 right now, so almost 10 o'clock. I don't know why my alarm is set for 4:50 in the morning. Definitely not going to be getting up at 4:50 tomorrow morning. That's not happening. I am ready to binge this book. I'm not even going to try and take it in stride. Like I want to binge it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get cozy in bed, read. I don't even know if I'll have any updates for you guys tonight. Honestly, I kind of just want to have like a read in bed and binge night, and then we will kind of, I don't know. It depends what happens in this book, honestly. I don't know what turns we're gonna take. Let me just stop rambling, start the book, and then we will chat after that. Okay. That's a little too bright for me right now. Let me just... Hello. Hi, Theo. Say good morning. He's always just like happens to be here. Hey, hello. It is actually not the next morning. It is the morning after, so it's been a day. I didn't record anything yesterday. I also fell asleep in my makeup last night, so my eyes look so crusty. They feel so crusty. I literally I normally don't fall asleep in my makeup, but I was dead inside. So I woke up this morning and I was like, the reason I'm whispering is it's almost 8 o'clock. It's 7:55, but Cody is still sleeping, which is very unusual for her. She's usually a very early riser, so she honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she wakes up any minute while I'm talking, but because she's still sleeping and it's out of character, I'm just trying to let her sleep as long as she needs to. So that's why we're whispering. Onyx Storm updates. So I haven't gotten that far, honestly. Last night I fell asleep on page 80 82. So I'm still only 10% into the book. I feel like I am getting through it really slowly, and it's not even because I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be over, so I'm reading it slowly. It's because I do this thing, and I don't know why I do this, and I feel like it has to be like semi-normal. Like, I know I cannot be the only one who does this, but when I have like a highly anticipated read or a book that I think I'm going to love, or a book that I've been waiting forever for, if I don't like start it immediately and immediately get like halfway through the book, I start to procrastinate reading it. I don't know why. It's like because I want to read it so bad, it makes me not want to read it, or because I have such high hopes for it, it makes me not want to read it, and I don't know why. For example, a great example of this is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. That's the third book in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. That is like one of my favorite adult romantasy series right now, right? I waited so long last year. Like, that book came out in November. I was waiting like all year for it to come out. It finally comes out. I had pre-ordered it. I got it. It's available on Kindle Unlimited. I still have not finished that book. I don't know why. I literally don't know why. I'm having a great time. I love that author. I love that series. I think that it'll be a very highly rated book, or even a 5-star book, but I still have not finished it, and it's because every time that I think about picking it up, I procrastinate it, and I literally don't know why. So I felt like I was starting to feel that happen when I was reading this. I feel like I can't even explain it, because it's really like, it doesn't fully make sense to me even. Really, the only way I can describe it is like, I want to read it so bad that it makes me not want to read it. Take that as you will. I don't know. But anyway, because I was starting to feel that happen with Onyx Storm, I feel like I need to just binge a bunch of it today so I can like get farther into the story. Like, obviously, because it's the third book in the series, we're picking up like basically right where the second book left off, which, may I just say, I really, really, really appreciate that. One thing that I hate with series is if you like go into the next book and then it feels like we're starting over again, and you have to like relearn a bunch of stuff and like get through a bunch of stuff in the beginning to get back into the plot. Because I feel like one of the selling points of a series, at least to me, is like, it's so hard for me to start a book, especially with ADHD. Like, it takes me a while for my brain to be like invested enough in the character and the stories to like pay attention and remember things and not let my mind wander as much. So in a series, it's so nice because there's like all these books where I already know all the characters, I already know all the world, I'm already invested, so it's like not as hard to get my brain interested. Like, I love it for my brain and how my brain works. So I hate when series do that, where you like start the next book and it's like, okay, what about the whole plot that we just left off on the last book? Like, are we just setting that to the side to set up a second plot? Like, that's not what I want. I want to continue this plot over here that I thought we were going to get into. So I love and really appreciate the fact that like we're starting off right where the second book left off. Honestly, the second book did that too, where it started off like right where the first book left off. So I love that. I do feel like something devastating is gonna happen in this book. I don't know like what it could be. I'm not very good at like guessing what's gonna happen or like being a detective, because genuinely all of the clues just fly right over my head. I'm simply vibing. I'm not going to connect the dots. I'm not going to be able to read between the lines. Like, I just can't. I wish I could do that. However, all of the details just go straight past me. So I don't know what that could possibly be, but I'm only 10% in. Like I said, 82 pages in, but there have already been things mentioned that I just feel like that's gonna come back to haunt me. Also, look what came in the mail the other day. And by the other day, I mean yesterday. So this is my Amazon pre-order. I think that this is so beautiful. I already put it like up on my shelf just to see how it would look next to the other copies in the series. And I just think it looks so good up there next to them. So I'm so excited to have this. I cannot believe that the people that got the Target exclusive, it's been like a single day, and yesterday they were already listing that book for like, I saw anywhere between $150 to $250. Okay, it's been 24 hours. That is insane. I mean, there was people where even on Facebook Marketplace, it's like you didn't even wait until you left the store. Like, people were just taking pictures of the book in Target and using that as their listing photo, which is so like frustrating, because it's like you clearly just went there to get the book and sell it. If you're not even gonna wait until you're home to take a picture, I just feel like that is so like rude. Honestly, like, just let the people who actually like the series and want the book to read it or collect it, let them get it. And then also seeing the listings from people who had like 2 or 3 books, I'm like, you couldn't even just like sell one for $200. You had to make $600 off of these books. So anyway, It's fine. I'm just like so frustrated because I was trying to get 2 so I could do a giveaway with 1, because we were just talking about that in my vlog that I posted last week or the week before, and I couldn't even get 1, and then there's people that got 2 or 3 copies just to sell, and it's like, anyways. I am very happy about this edition. I think it looks beautiful with my other copies. I'm very grateful to have gotten one because I've seen that apparently people are even having issues getting the regular version now. So I hope that all of you guys were able to find a copy. Maybe if I can find more copies with the sprayed edges, I'll get some and we can do a giveaway or something. I don't know. I know that the Target right next to my house is completely sold out of them. I don't know. There were so many people that were awaiting this release, and I just feel so bad that there was so many people that like weren't able to get even like a regular copy at this point. So yeah, I feel very lucky, honestly, that I was able to. I know that a lot of people are like nervous to order things through Amazon, like pre-order books through Amazon, especially because like with Iron Flame, I'm pretty sure there was a bunch of people who pre-ordered Iron Flame through Amazon and like had issues with their order. I have gotten lucky because I pre-ordered my sprayed edge version of Iron Flame through Amazon and didn't have any issues with that. And I pre-ordered this all the way back in March last year, and I didn't have any issues with this one either. Literally the only thing is it was supposed to get here on the 21st, and then it got delayed one day, and it got here yesterday, which was fine with me because I got it on my Kindle anyway. But yeah, so very excited about this. I hope you guys all were able to get a copy. I'm so sorry to those of you guys who wanted to get a copy and unfortunately can't. I know that that really sucks, and like not everyone can afford to pay hundreds of dollars for a single book. So hopefully they do reprints and release more. That way everyone can get the copy at a decent, like understandable price, but we'll see. One of my friends DM'd me on Instagram and said that she thinks that they're gonna bring them back in February. I think she said in Arizona it should be February 1st, but I think it's different dates because she said that she has a sister-in-law in Utah and it's like February 3rd there or something like that. So maybe just try and check your specific locations and see, and maybe you'll be able to get a copy then. And if I can in February, maybe I'll try and get multiple copies so that I can do a giveaway or something. Anyway, those are my updates for Onyx Storm. So far it's going good. Nothing too devastating has happened. I did get a little bit nervous because I saw people posting on Goodreads that they were on page 10 and already crying, and I'm like, what happens? What happens in the first 10 pages? I don't know what they were talking about because I've made it 80 pages, but also I don't cry very easily. So if I'm crying, either I'm tired or you know it's deep. So yeah, page 84, everything's going good. There have been some plot developments, but I feel like we're just at the turning point of the plot really getting into it where I fell asleep at. So yeah, plan for today, I'm gonna wash my face and read. That's pretty much all I have planned for today. I'm gonna be doing some cooking and stuff. That's gonna be in the weekly vlog. So other than that, I would like to get close to finishing it or get to a point where as much as I read during the day today, if I stay up late tonight and have a cozy little late reading night, then we can finish it tonight. That's one of my favorite things, is putting on ambiance after the kids have gone to bed and being in a spot where I can like finish a book in one reading session. So we'll see. I feel like that is like a fever dream because, well, you know, actually I might be able to. I'm gonna sit here, enjoy my iced coffee, and read until Cody wakes up. Who knows when that will be. I can't believe she's even sleeping in this long. The girl does not sleep in. Like, her internal clock, we always make jokes about it, like her internal clock is insane. So I just want her to sleep as long as she needs to. Like, maybe her body is just like fighting something off. I feel like there's been like sickness going around recently. So yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy reading until she wakes up. Then we'll go and make breakfast together and we'll get right back to reading. Okay, updates on Onyx Storm. It's not even that early. I'm just so tired, so it looks like it's early and I'm dead inside. It's 10:30. I was about to start reading again, and I figured I should update you guys. We made really good progress in the book. I am currently 43% into the book. We are on chapter 26. So my Kindle is saying that we have 7 hours and 31 minutes left in the book at my current reading speed. So we're probably going to be finishing Iron Flame by the end of today, which is crazy. I cannot wait to see how it ends. I have been avoiding Goodreads and Book Talk and trying to avoid Instagram as much as possible because I'm so afraid of seeing spoilers, especially when I'm like about to read it. So it's gonna be fresh in my brain if I see anything. But there's nothing I can really say plot-wise that won't spoil things because we're so far into the series already. But one thing that I will say that I feel like is different about the writing in this book, and I don't know if it's just because I'm not remembering in the last book, I doubt it because I just did like a reread of Iron Flame, but I feel like in this book the banter between a lot of the side characters has a lot more like comedy, I guess, or I guess it would be like just a lot more comedic banter between even like the main characters, the side characters. I don't know, like I just feel like it's feeling more like found family nitpicking with each other but in a joking way. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot more like comedic relief in this one than there has been in the last two books. Iron Flame, you definitely get more of like a taste for that because I feel like the found family is like being built in that one, but this one feels more like, okay, these are our people, and then there's like just a lot more comedic things. I have just noticed that the banter between not just the main characters but between like all the side characters as well, I don't know, I have loved it, honestly. I don't know if that's like a change in Rebecca Yarros's like writing style either, like between books, or if that's just like character growth and like their relationships evolving, you know, like throughout the series. But I don't know, I'm really liking and enjoying the dynamic between all the side characters and the main characters, and like the way that they're messing with each other, like the jokes that are being said. It feels very real, which is so weird because it's like a fantasy book, but their conversations just, they don't feel forced. Like it feels like very natural banter, and I really appreciate that because when you're reading a book and it's supposed to be like banter and funny, but like you can tell when it's forced and it's like uncomfortable because it's like, I don't know, that conversation would not happen naturally, and it like you can just feel that it's forced, you know? Like it does not feel like that at all. It just feels very natural, very organic, and so it's like actually funny and like actually, I don't know, I just like it. I like the way that the relationships are forming and feeling and all that stuff. So that aspect of the book is something that I'm really liking and appreciating that I did not see coming. Another thing that I feel like is different about this book than I was expecting is I feel like I was not expecting to go on so many, I feel like in my brain I think of it as like side quests. Like you have like the overarching issue of the series, but then like I feel like in this book you get so many like little side quests, and I'm really liking it because honestly you're getting to see so much more of the world that we're in. Like in the first two books you only see a certain, I'm trying to be vague so that I don't spoil anything, I never want to spoil anything for anybody, but in the first two books you are mainly set in like the same areas, but in this book it's like the world is just expanding so much. It feels like you're just getting so much more information, you're getting to see so much more, you're learning so much more information, and I'm only halfway through and I feel like I have gotten to see so much more and learn so much more information, but not in an info dumpy way. Like it feels very organic to the story, so I'm really enjoying it so far. I fear there is some pain and heartbreak coming up. I just feel it coming. Like I don't know what it's gonna be, but the farther in we get, the more I'm just like afraid to get farther. So yeah, those are my main updates without like spoiling anything. It's going great. I'm loving it so far. I've been alternating between my Kindle and the physical copy. Yesterday during the day I mainly read the physical copy because I feel like when books have like, well, I guess it's not like a specific type of cover. Sometimes I just really like reading the physical copy over Kindle during the day specifically because I feel like the vibe that this gives, like when you're looking down at the book and you can like see the edges, you can see the silver, I feel like it like sets a scene in my brain, and that might sound absolutely crazy, but I feel like looking down at the book it like gives the vibes of the story, if that makes sense. Don't read that page also. Anyway, I read the physical copy most of the day yesterday, and then once I was ready to get cozy in bed, I turned on my Kindle and I switched to my Kindle because it's just more comfortable because I can lay on my side. And also, I think my eyesight is slowly just getting worse and worse because if you don't know, like I do have glasses, but my prescription is so like minuscule that it's like really not necessary. I only got glasses because it was like, I felt like I was getting headaches, but that could have been like a placebo placebo, like, because my prescription was so low, like, I feel like I might have been making it worse in my brain, but like they gave it to me anyway. But it's like, it was such a small prescription that it's like, literally, I think it was like the lowest possible prescription you can get. So that's why, like, I never really wear them. Also, because I feel like my eyes have changed. So like, they don't, I don't know, they don't like work as well anymore against like if I am having like a headache from reading or looking at my screen or something. So I need to go back and like see if my prescription has changed, because I haven't been back to the eye doctor since probably like 2021, honestly. So it's been a few years. So I feel like after reading the physical copy all day, and then especially like as the sun was going down and stuff, I just felt like I was starting to get a headache from like trying to look at the page. So yeah, switching to the Kindle last night also was just like such a relief on my eyes. But yeah, my plans for today are to hopefully finish Onyx Storm. I'm honestly going to just like try and lock in and finish it, because I cannot wait to see where we end. I'm kind of dreading it because then I'm gonna have to wait for the next book, obviously, but I also like, I need to know. And also to update on how I was saying, oh, if I wait too long then I'll start procrastinating the book. I'm so glad that I just made myself lock in and get farther into the story, because now I'm like in it enough where I'm like, okay, I'm invested, I'm gonna finish the book. But I do think if I would have kept waiting, it would be a situation like The Songbird and the Heart of Stone where I still haven't finished it. Maybe I should finish that book in this video. It's not technically like a brand new release, but I feel like it's still like a newer release because it came out in November 2023, so that was only, I guess it was 2 months ago. Maybe I'll just still count it as a new release. I don't know though. I just gotta focus on finishing this because I've been putting off Songbird and a Heart of Stone, but I do want to know what happens in that book so bad. But also, depending on how this ends, I might need like a genre change, because if this ends atrociously in a similar way that Iron Flame did, I don't think I'll be able to cope, and I think if I go straight into another fantasy or romantasy, I will be losing interest. So I might need to like switch genres. Maybe I'll read, sometimes if I'm like getting tired of fantasy or romantasy, or I just need a break, I feel like the best genre for me to go to next is like mystery thriller. I don't know why that is, but it just works really well for my brain when I'm like getting tired of one genre. So, ooh, there is a new release. There's a couple new releases actually for mystery thriller that sound good. Okay, so maybe we'll do that after this, and then possibly the Songbird and the Heart of Stone, or I don't know where we'll go. We'll see. Today, my goal is to just get farther to Onyx Storm. I don't think I'm gonna finish it during the day today because I'll have a little bit of time to read, and then Bowie, I need to go get him from school. He has half days on Friday, so he gets to come home early today, and he wants to have a little family day today, so we'll be spending time together where I won't be reading. And then also they're getting a bunk bed today, so we are going to obviously be putting that together. That's going to take a few hours, so that will be time that I will not be reading. So the next time that I see you guys will probably be later tonight. I'll update you guys how far I'm able to get through the book today, my final thoughts and opinions before finishing the book, and then we'll finish the book together tonight. I'm so nervous. Hey. I just finished Onyx Storm. I was literally just listening to, what is that song even called? Half a Man? It's like the song that Rebecca Yarros was like, yeah, this is the song for Onyx Storm. I literally just had that song on repeat for the last like 30 minutes of reading this book. I'm gonna have to live in denial for another who knows how long until the next book comes out. This book was so good. 5 stars. All I'll say, because I don't want to spoil anything, I love the vibes of this book. It was like a big side quest, kind of, not really-ish, adventure. I loved how much of the world you got to see. I loved the adventure vibes and the ending. It's like I was expecting it, but I fully was not. And that's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to spoil anything. This did not disappoint. I love this series so much. And with every book that we get farther in, I genuinely just love it even more. I'm unwell. Can you see like the stress in my face? My eyes are like dry. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I can't cope. Hello. What was that? I don't know why I just said that. Anyway, hey, look, I'm actually ready. It never happens anymore. Hopefully, it's gonna start happening more regularly. But I just filmed my makeup routine for the weekly vlog. So if you guys are a weekly vlog watcher, you will see that. Lots of yapping because apparently I think now I am a makeup guru. Anyway, I did that and then I sat and I was rotting on TikTok, but this TikTok is genuinely my sign to get off. It says, my favorite trope has always been, who did this to you? Is it, or do you think that someone is only capable of loving you after you've been hurt first? I'm sorry, that hit a little too close to home, okay? I'm gonna turn it off so I don't get my feelings hurt. Anyway, hey, so it's been a few days since I finished Onyx Storm. I have been just coping from that ending because when I tell you, I was just in shock. Like, I was just in shock. And since then, I've been talking to a few of my friends about Onyx Storm, and I feel like my love for it has already only grown. And like seeing all the memes online, like one thing that will make me grateful for being a reader right now is the online community, like especially getting to experience like new releases, because I really haven't been reading for that long in the grand scheme of things. So there's only been like a few new releases that I could genuinely be like a part of and like be really excited for, because a lot of them like are farther into series, so like I wasn't a part of the release and stuff like that because I'm like haven't been reading it. So I just get so excited whenever there's actually a new release that I have read and can be excited for, because it really just is like such a sense of community, like everyone coming together for this book that we're all excited for and then talking about it online. It's just like such a fun feeling. So I have just been in a little bit of a rut after finishing Onyx Storm, because what's gonna compare after reading that? That was just like such a fun overall experience. Like just the experience of a new release is like something in itself, and then plus the book was just like so good in my opinion. It was just like such a fun vibe. I was talking to my cousin about how it really just felt like we were on a little fantasy adventure, and I love that vibe. Like there was just so much that happens. It's just so good. It's just so good. Okay, love Onyx Storm. It literally made me want to reread Fourth Wing and like go through and actually annotate it. I probably will be doing a reread of the trilogy and annotating it, because I want to reread and annotate Fourth Wing, all of ACOTAR. Like I think at some point this year, I would like to do a full spoiler reading vlog for ACOTAR for my second time through reading it. I've listened to the A Court of Mist and Fury audiobook quite a few times, never in order also. I always just like play the audiobook and I skip to like whatever part I want to hear, because I'm just a feral animal, and sometimes that's what gets me through my depression, is just listening to random parts of A Court of Mist and Fury. But anyway, I would like to do a full spoiler read through and annotate of ACOTAR at some point this year. But yeah, it's just so good. I also want to do a reread of The Serpent and the Wings of Night and annotate that, because it's just so good. Anyway, that's literally not what we're talking about right now. Can you tell I'm in a yappy mood? It's because I got ready. Life is worth a living. This is a very chaotic update to the reading vlog. I'm so sorry. What I came on here to say is hello, first of all. Second of all, it's time to choose the next book. And I know that last time we talked, I was thinking about getting into a mystery thriller. And the one that I had on my mind is Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. So I got this in December. It was an early release book of the month pick, and I did start it in December, but I was like in a little mini slump. I just like wasn't reading that much towards the end of December and like into the new year. I don't know, I just like had a really slow end to the year and start to the year, but I haven't really read that many mystery thrillers, honestly, like in the grand scheme of things, but out of the mystery thrillers that I have read so far, my favorite one is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I just loved her writing in that book, so I'm really, really excited to read this. The premise of this book sounds so interesting, and then the fact that it's written by Alice Feeney just like made me really excited for it. This essentially is about an author who is like having the best day of his life. He's worked for 10 years as a writer, and like obviously his dream is to become a New York Times bestseller. So he's been working towards this dream and working as a writer for 10 years, and finally on the day that he gets the call that he is a New York Times bestseller, his wife is running late home, so she misses the call, like him getting that news. So he gets off the phone with his agent, calls his wife, and is so excited to tell her the good news that he's finally a New York Times bestseller. And while they're on the phone, he hears her slam on the brakes, and she's like, oh my god, there's like someone in the middle of the street. Like, should I get out and help them? And he's like, no, stay in the car and call for help. Like, don't get out of the car. And she's like, it's fine. Like, it's just a person in the middle of the street. Like, I'm just gonna get out real quick and ask them if they need help. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and wait for someone to show up. So she gets out of the car. He's left on speakerphone, and then she just like never returns to the car. She essentially goes missing. No one ever knows what happens, and you do like a little time jump, and it's him in the present, and obviously he's like struggling emotionally, like coping with the loss of his wife, especially because he just like doesn't have answers. So it's been really hard for him to cope with, because it's like no one really knows what happened to her. Like, she just went missing, you know? So like we don't know if she's alive, we don't know if she's dead, we don't know if she ran off on her own, we don't know if she got kidnapped. Like, we don't know what happened to her, and he's like struggling, and he's about to get dropped by his agent now because he has been so emotionally devastated by this that he like has not been able to write anything new, and he has like a deadline coming up, and they're like, okay, if you don't meet this deadline and give us at least something, like he doesn't even have an outline, like an idea for a story, nothing, and they're like, if you don't give us at least something, like we're gonna have to drop you, and then he will lose his house because he can't afford it, and like all this stuff. So his publisher is essentially like, okay, I'm gonna give you the keys to my cabin, and I want you to go on a vacation there and don't come back until you feel re-inspired with life and you have this story started. So he gets the keys, is traveling to this like desolate remote island. I don't remember what it's called, but essentially on the boat ride there, he sees someone and he swears it looks exactly like his wife. And that's, long story short, the premise of this book, where you kind of start off from. I made it to page 30 in December, and what I read so far of it, like I was really, really liking the way it was setting up. I was liking the vibes of the story it was giving. I feel like Alice Feeney does such a good job at like setting the tone. So yeah, I'm really, really, really excited to get farther into this one. The other option that we have is The Songbird in the Heart of Stone. I was literally just talking about doing a reread of The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and this is the technically third book in that series. It's like a series of interconnected duologies. So the first two books in the series follow a different set of main characters, and then this book is the first book in another duology following one of the side characters from the first duology. Does that make sense, or did I overcomplicate that? Because typically I accidentally overcomplicate things. I loved this side character already in The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I already feel like I'm gonna love the male main character that is supposed to be in this book. I feel like he's gonna be a good little shadow daddy, as people like to call them. But anyway, I don't want to say too much about the premise of this book because I feel like it could hypothetically spoil things for the first duology, but that's kind of the premise. It's a enemies to lovers romantasy, and it is about vampires. So love, love, love that. I actually have this on my Kindle because it is on Kindle Unlimited, and I did pick it up the other night, and I honestly was more into it than I thought it would be. I was a little bit nervous to try and pick this one up because I just finished Onyx Storm, so like I didn't know how I would feel about going into another fantasy. But honestly, the vibes of this series are a lot different than the Fourth Wing series because, one, obviously, like, two completely different worlds. Also, I feel like Onyx Storm, there was a lot, like, of world building in that one, and like expansion of, and just like so much going on in the plot, honestly. Like there was just so much going on, and this is very much like we're going on an adventure to the underworld. I don't know, it's just like, I love Carissa Broadbent's writing because it's so like easy to digest, it's easy to follow, it's very bingeable, it just feels like a little treat, honestly. It's just like so entertaining. The way she writes a romance is just like perfection for me. Like, it's just, I love it so much. Technically, I feel like I want to include this in this video because I feel like it is a new release. Like, it came out in November of 2023, so like not like recently, but in my mind, to me, it's still a new release. So I feel like these are going to be the next two books that we read for this video. I don't know which one I'm gonna get to first though. Like, part of me wants to read this like during the day because it's like hardback and I don't have it on my Kindle, and then I will switch to this tonight because I can get cozy in bed and read it on my Kindle. But I don't know, I am excited though that reading Onyx Storm hasn't necessarily made it hard to get into this. Where even is my Kindle? Let me see how far in this book I even am. Okay, so I'm only 21% into the book on my Kindle. It says I still have 7 hours and 9 minutes. So yeah, I'm so excited to get to these. I just wanted to, you know, give a quick update because the last time I talked to you, I just was like dead inside from finishing Onyx Storm, and like my head hurt, my heart hurt, everything hurt. So yeah, those are my updates. I have about an hour and a half before I need to go. I have more like an hour before I need to go and get Bowie from school. So I think I'm gonna try and read Beautiful Ugly for the next hour and just like see how the vibes are going, see how I'm feeling about it. And then after I get Bobo from school, if I still feel like reading this, I'm just gonna continue reading this until tonight, and I'll check in with you guys tonight and we'll decide if I want to just like continue on with this one or switch the vibes and go to a little fantasy. But yeah, that's the update. That's it. Okay. Read you this part because I feel like this is a great example of what I'm talking about when I say like she does such a good job at setting the tone, because what it is like it's a conversation between the main character and his wife from like the past. Obviously nothing specific happens, but I feel like the conversation is just like setting a vibe for the book, and it'll make sense in a second. So it says, "There you are," she said, "when I put the drinks on the bedside table. Here I am. I hope you die in your sleep." I looked up, thought perhaps I'd misheard. "What? I hope you die in your sleep. I've been thinking about it lately. Death. And it's got to be the best way to go. If you truly loved someone, that's how you'd want them to die. And I love you more than anything, so I hope you die in your sleep." We said that to each other every night before we went to bed from then on. "I hope you die in your sleep" was our way of saying I love you. Like, is it not like kind of creepy? Like, nothing specific happened at all, but it just like, it just sets like such a good creepy vibe, you know? Anyway, just thought I would share that because I read that and I was like, that's weird. Hello. It's the next day. We are still in bed because when am I not in bed? Updates on Beautiful Ugly. So yesterday I made it to page 136 and I have some opinions. So first of all, when I was reading this last night, I literally like I don't know, it's so weird because it is very like eerie, spooky, like creepy things are happening, like there's a mystery, we're wondering what's going on, but then at the same time, part of me is like reading this as if it's like satire. I can explain what I mean by that. So there have been probably at least like 7 to 10 instances so far where something like super creepy happens. Okay, like for example, I'm trying to think of a good example that like won't spoil anything, but it's just the island that they're on is only like 6 miles wide. There's only like 25 residents, so it's like a very isolated island. A couple months ago there was an accident that took out all of the phone, like cell phone tower poles or whatever, so you have no cell phone reception on the entire island. There's no like street lights and stuff, so at night it's just like pitch black. So he's like standing outside in front of the cabin at night. It's like pitch black. There's no one else around there, and all of a sudden he starts hearing like way off in the distance somebody playing the harmonica, and like there's no other sounds, there's nobody else around, and he literally is like walking into the house. He turns around super quick and is like, you know, freaked out because obviously that's really creepy. It's like the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. Okay, nobody should be outside playing harmonica. So he's like super freaked out, turns around and is like, oh my god, like what is that? And then 5 seconds later he's just like, meh, probably nothing. Like there must be an explanation. Like what explanation? What explanation do you have for that? That is like acceptable enough that you can just like go to sleep after that. So like things like that just like keep happening one after another where something like super creepy will happen. He's like, there must be a reason. Like, there's probably some reason why. And I'm like, no, there's no reason. And so anyway, because of that, I told Mark last night, it's reminding me of the show that we watched on Netflix. It's called like hold on, let me look it up because it has, I think her name is Kristen Bell, the woman in the house in the window across the street. What is it called? Okay, the woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window. It's like a thriller, but that one, it's technically like, it's a psychological thriller, but I feel like that gave the same vibe of like kind of unserious, but then also at the same time it kind of was really creepy and unsettling. So it's like it walks the line between being like unserious and like kind of satire, and that's exactly what I just said. I'm saying the same sentence twice in different ways. When I was reading this last night, I just got that vibe, like I don't know, and so then I started reading it like in a more unserious type of way, and I just feel so weird about it because I don't think that's like what was intended, and maybe it was and I'm just like unaware, but I'm pretty sure that this is just like a real mystery thriller, but I'm over here like hee hee ha ha taking it so unseriously. But it's so weird because it still has such a good like eerie creepy vibe, and it's still really like, you know, creepy things are happening, and I am still really interested in the plot and like what is gonna happen and like what's gonna be revealed and all of those things. But then on the other hand, I'm over here taking it like, I don't know, I feel like you'll only understand what I'm saying if you have seen that show that I'm talking about from Netflix, because I feel like the vibes are so like, not like the storyline is the same at all, honestly, but like the vibes. And that's the only way I can explain it. I'm so sorry that I can't like put it into words, the feeling of that, but like even if you just go watch like maybe the trailer for that, you'll get the vibe. I don't know, like I don't know how else to explain it except for relating it to that show. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. I'm just under halfway with this book. I honestly was hoping to get a little bit farther into the book yesterday, but I fell victim to my phone, so wasted lots of time on Instagram and TikTok as per usual. I literally need to like lock those apps down because I spend way too much time on there. I am going to spend the next few hours trying to finish this book. I don't think I'll have any updates until I finish it, honestly, because the farther I get into the book, the more it would be like spoiler territory, and I just feel like the main thing that I have to comment on is just like the vibe of the book and how funny I thought it was, that it's like unserious but not. So yeah, that is my main takeaway right now. Like I said, I'm gonna try and finish this book. I'll come back to you guys once we have finished it with final thoughts. Maybe it will get more serious the farther I get or something. Like, I don't know. I'm really excited to see what the plot twist is gonna be, because I remember when I read Rock, Paper, Scissors, which is her other book that I was talking about, I remember when the plot twist came, I was like, oh my god, like it was such a good plot twist. It like fully got me and I loved it so much. And I've heard from a lot of other people that Alice Feeney always has just like really good plot twists. So I'm so excited to finish it and see what I think of it. We'll come back together for a final rating, and then I really want to get a good chunk into The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. One, because I can read it on my Kindle and I just want to like be cozy. Today's like such a overcast rainy day. Like, let me show you what I'm looking at right now. The reading vibes today, they're at an all-time high. So yeah, I just want to finish this book and then get cozy and finish The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. So that's what we're gonna do. It's currently 7:19. Finally finished Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. Final rating 2.75. It was almost a 3-star, but I feel like the way that the second half of this book, I don't know, I just think it wasn't for me, which I'm so surprised about, because like I said, I love Rock, Paper, Scissors so much by her, and like this book, the setting of the book was really good, the vibe of the book was really good. It's just like something about the plot, like and also just like everything that was happening, what just felt so unserious, because it felt like the main character wasn't really taking things serious. Like obviously he was creeped out, but then it was like we would just like kind of move past it. But I don't know, it just felt like nothing came about all of this like foreshadowing creepy events that would be happening to him, if that makes sense, which just made it feel unserious. Like I was literally talking about the fact that it felt like it was kind of like satire, like, you know what I'm saying, like unserious but like creepy still vibes. And then like the way that it ended, like yes, it was a huge plot twist, but I also just, it felt kind of like one of those plot twists where you're like, that's what happened, instead of like, oh my god, I'm gagged and this is so good, like I cannot believe this is what's happening. It was more like, I don't know. I am now very interested to try out another Alice Feeney book because now I have one that is a 5-star and one that is a 2.75. Didn't really love. So now I feel like I need a third book to really see if Rock, Paper, Scissors was like a fluke and I'm not gonna like the rest of her books, or if this was a fluke and I'm gonna love the rest of her books. You know what I'm saying? I'll need to get another Alice Feeney book. I think I literally only own Rock, Paper, Scissors and this one by her. So if you have read a lot of Alice Feeney and you've read like Rock, Paper, Scissors, obviously like I like that one. If you have another Alice Feeney book recommendation that you think I will like based off of that, let me know. But yeah, I'm like very interested to see if I like it or not because now I just feel like it's a toss-up. But anyway, I finished this one. It's 7:21. Time to move on to The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. I'm so excited. I feel like after reading Onyx Storm, I am glad that I had like a little genre switch up because now I'm like fiending for another romantasy. I have to read romantasy. Like it's so good. I feel like I can squeeze in other genres like in between, but like romantasy is just, it's where my heart is at least right now. Like I love it so much, and it just is like comforting to read because it's just like I love it. I love the vibes. So anyway, The Songbird and the Heart of Stone is available on Kindle Unlimited, so I think I'm gonna read it on my Kindle for a little bit. I honestly don't feel like very tired right now. Like normally by now I'm like drained from the day and like I maybe have an hour or two before I just crash, but I'm honestly feeling really good. Also, Mark has tomorrow off, so I can stay up late reading, and on the days that I stay up late reading and then he has the day off, he usually will get up and get Bowie ready for school and just take him so that I can sleep in. So I might just stay up late tonight and have a little reading night. But I have had my hair up for 2 days now. I ran out of the like gel that I normally use. I usually use the Day, what is that called, like the cream gel, like I don't know what that's called, but it's like way lighter on your hair versus like hairspray, and also like healthy for your hair, and like you can literally put your hair up with it and then wear your hair down again and it's fine. But it's like, it's just so good. If you haven't tried the Day hair gel, try it. But anyway, I ran out and I never got more, and then I needed to wash my hair but I haven't had time in the past 2 days, so I've just been like, yesterday I wore it in a bun, today I wore it like half up, but I put hairspray in it, and I never wear hairspray because I hate the way it makes my hair feel. I hate it so much. So I really need to wash my hair tonight. So I think I'm gonna go put some oil in my hair. I'm going to take a bath and read for a bit in the bath because I have like a little Kindle stand in there, and then I can like bring my clicker and just like lay in the bath and read, and it is honestly one of the best things ever. That was such a good purchase. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that for honestly the next like 2 hours. I don't know if a lot of other people are like this, but whenever I take a bath, I put my Epsom salt, I put my bubble bath, I put my oils, I put everything in there, I fill it up, and I will be in there for like hours. Like I'll either watch a bunch of YouTube or I will just sit and binge a book. Sometimes I'll just like lay in there because I have like mood lighting in there too. Not like mood lighting, but like, you know what I'm saying. That little like aura light, I have it like pointed in the corner, so I'll turn the lights off too, like while I take a bath and like watch YouTube or read or whatever. And sometimes I'll literally just lay in there and close my eyes and listen to an audiobook. The options are endless. So I'm gonna be doing that. I'll probably, let's see, it's 7:25. I might stay in the bath until like 9:30 and just like vibe in the hot water, and then I'll check in with you guys. So the next time that you see me, I'll be looking a little different but cozy nonetheless. I'm gonna wash my hair, oil. I'm not gonna redo my hair until tomorrow morning because I'm not gonna feel like it once I get out of the bath, and that's it. So we have now finished book 2 and we are on to book 3. I do have the physical copy of this book as well, but I'm just so ready to have a little Kindle reading moment. So lots of yap, ramble, ramble, ramble. I'm going to go get in the bath, read for a bit, and I'll check in with you guys a little bit later. He's so cute. I have Bentley and Winston. They're so cute. Okay, hello. I was gonna set up the tripod. I don't feel like sitting up, so here we are. We're doing an update for The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. I made it 45% into the book. I have 5 hours and 19 minutes left, so definitely not gonna finish it tonight. It's, what time is it?
11:59.
It's 11:59 already. As if you didn't just hear Mark say that. Yeah, it's 11:59. I think that I might just try and read for like 30 more minutes and then finish it in the morning. But I just wanted to give my thoughts on the book, like as we are halfway through, what I'm thinking. I mean, I don't know, I guess I'm not really thinking anything crazy, to be honest. I feel like it's a lot different than the first 2 books in the series, obviously, because it's following a different character. There's a whole different plot going on. So obviously the first book is going to be like a lot more setup again, because we're in the same world and we know the characters already, but we have to like reset up a new story. And without saying too much of like what the plot is about, because if I say like the characters that it's about and stuff, I feel like that will spoil things. And also, like, I don't want to say too much about the plot in general, but essentially you're following them on a journey into the underworld, and they're going there to like complete a mission. That's all I will say. They like have a mission. They're going into the underworld, and you essentially have to follow them through all of the, I think there's like 6 layers of the underworld or something, and each layer has its own guardian or trial that they're having to like fight to get past, which in that way, like, it does obviously remind me of The Serpent and the Wings of Night and what is the second one? The Songbird. No. Okay, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and then The Ashes and the Starcursed King. I don't know why I could not remember what that was called. So in that way, it does remind me of that book, because obviously in that book, they are going through the trials, and so you have like all the different rounds of the trials and all the different things that they're facing in that. So I feel like it is kind of like a different version of that with different characters. It's very different vibes though. Like, honestly, the entire tone of this book is very different than the first 2. I'm really liking it so far, obviously, because I really like the main character that we're following, but I will say it does feel a little bit slow, especially after coming from the first little duology in the series, because in that, like, especially in the second book, like, it was so fast paced. There was so much going on. You're already like so deep in the story, and then like going from that and getting like a nice kind of like wrapped up ending for that story, and then going to a new story that's like a continuation, because you do see the characters from like the first book. Like, you do see some of the characters from the first book, some like mentioned. I guess you don't see them on page, or at least I haven't yet. I don't know if they'll be like in this book at all, but I don't know, it's just like a lot different. And as far as like romance, because the romance in The Serpent and the Wings of Night, one of my favorite parts of that book, like, the plot is so good, everything is so good, but the romance, it just like is so good in the book. It's honestly like perfection. I will say that we're 45% through. We just got dropped a little hint of romance for the first time, and I literally was like, I highlighted it so I could tell you guys. Hold on. Oh my god, I'm going through all of my quotes that I saved from The Ashes and the Starcursed King. That book was so good. Why do I have a quote saved from Morning Glory on the Milky Way? I'm not gonna like say characters or anything. This is like just kind of an out of context quote. But it says, "Do not touch her." Unlike no, redacted. I'm not gonna say names. So it says, "Do not touch her." But what I thought was interesting about this is that they specifically said blank didn't growl, didn't yell. His words were clear. 4 precise swipes of the blade. And I thought that was so interesting, because the whole thing right now that's like super popular is like, ooh, he growled, you know, and like everyone always makes fun, because it's like, what does that even mean? And so I thought that was funny that it's specifically written like, no, he didn't growl, he didn't yell, his words were clear. And something about that, I was like, okay, wait. We're getting little crumbs of romance. I cannot wait to get farther into the romance of the story, because it is enemies to lovers, which obviously is my choice drug. But yeah, it's good. It's just going a little bit slow. The plot has been super interesting so far though, and I've really liked the vibe of the story, like going on an adventure and getting to see the world expand. One other thing that I did notice as well in this book is like you're getting a lot more of the gods in this book. Like in the first book, you have the goddess Nyaxia, obviously, and she's the one who like made the vampires and is like running the trials and like will grant the wish at the end. And so like you really like you hear stories about Nyaxia and like I guess a couple of the other gods, like especially because we're traveling into the underworld. I feel like first of all you're learning so much about the other gods and goddesses, and then also there's been like glimpses where you actually get to see into the past of like the goddesses, and I'm really enjoying that extra bit of like, I guess it's not like world building, what is that, like lore building, is that a thing? I don't know. I'm really enjoying that aspect of this story though, like getting to know more about the goddesses and like that part of the world, and then obviously getting to see all of the different like layers into the underworld. I just think it's so interesting and so creative that someone can literally imagine like, yeah, this is what it would be like to take a trip into the underworld. Like that's crazy. So I'm gonna read for probably like 30 more minutes tonight and then finish the book in the morning, and I'll see you guys then. Hello. Good morning. I just finished The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. Sorry, Anyway, I just finished The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. The chokehold that this series has on me is insane. So, okay, first of all, final rating for The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, 5 stars. One thing I do want to say is that I feel like the first, 60% of this, 60-70% of this, it did feel a little bit slow, not in a boring way, but in the plot is building up very slowly, and I feel like the main reason it feels like that is because the last time that you were in the series was the Ashes and Starker's King, and in that book the plot is going crazy from page 1 and there's so much happening. So then whenever you go to this book and you have a new set of characters, you have a new plot, you have to set up a lot, so I feel like that just makes it feel extra slow, more slow than it would if we weren't just coming from that, if that makes sense. Also, I do feel like the plot in this book is a little bit more in the forefront than in The Serpent and the Wings of Night. The Serpent and the Wings of Night I feel like was more balanced, plot and romance. This is such a slow burn. When I tell you, it's not even until 75% through the book maybe that anything happens at all romance wise. There's obviously tension and build up, but nothing is going down until 75% through, which I love. I love that so much. This is just so good. It's so good. Every time that I read another Carissa Broadbent book, it just reaffirms my love for her writing. There's just, I'm telling you, something about the way that she writes romance, first of all. The slow burn, and then when you actually get there, it's just so good. But also, just her writing in general. I just love the way that she builds up worlds and she makes you feel things. And I just love this. And I feel like I could see this entire world and the entire journey to the underworld so viscerally. I was there on the journey to the underworld as well. I cannot wait to read every single book in this series. I really want to read the Daughter of No Worlds. I think that's a trilogy because that is another fan favorite of Carissa Broadbent. I did start the audiobook for that months ago, so I think I would need to restart it, see how much I even remember. But yeah, this was just another 5-star in the books for Mrs. Carissa Broadbent. So overall, I feel like today's video was very successful. We found 2 5-star new releases. We have obviously Onyx Storm and The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, and only one kind of flop. I like those stats. I feel like that is really good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's reading vlog. If you did, make sure to subscribe before you go so you don't miss future content from me. But that's all I have for today's video. So I will see you in the next vlog. Bye!